Hi, welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we are going to be creating a query. We are going to be also inserting some values into the database, some default values for our rand salt parameters for our crypt function. For those of you that don't know about the crypt function, go back to the security section that I have on the PHP course and learn about it. I have a lecture that will explain everything about the crypt function, or you can go to php.net, and or you can search it on Google, the crypt function php.net. This is the URL right here. All right, and you can find out some more information. I think this is the best option that we got. It's called crypt blowfish. I was searching online for other passwords, other functions to encrypt passwords, and I think blowfish is actually the best one for this course and the best secure one for what we need it for. All right, so come back here, and very simple. Let me just give you, this is the start of the page. It would tell you that it needs two parameters, a string, and then of course the password. Here we give you some more information about exactly what the crypt function is, blowfish. And here we give an example also on how to do it. Right, this is the crypt blowfish. This is the password. It has 22 parameters and the cost parameter. 22 characters and the cost parameter right here. Now, again, I have a lecture on that, so that's why I'm not explaining much about it right now, because that would be like maybe 5-10 minutes to explain it. So go back to it and then come back here if you don't know about it. So anyway, so the first thing that we're going to be doing in this lecture is going to the database, going to the table users, and then here we are going to be inserting some default values into our table. Let's go to structure, rand salt. If you remember this field, probably you were wondering why in the world, why do we need this field, right? This column. Well, this is the moment where we are going to be using it. So let's click on change. Let's go to the default and as defined. And here we are going to be inserting some values, right? So the first value is going to be a $2y $10 and then $. This is the cost parameter. That's what it's called. And then we're going to put any 22 characters that we want. I use something like this. I use some crazy strings 22. And I know for a fact that these words here have 22 characters because I counted them. And you can go ahead and count it if you want. So I use some crazy strings. That's what I just wrote here. As you can see right there. I use some crazy strings 22. And then I'm just going to save it. Now, if you put too much characters or less character, you will get an error. So make sure that you put 22 characters there and the cost parameter. All right. So now that we got this, now let's go back here. Actually, right here. And let's start making a query here, because what we want to do is we want to take that value out of the database and use it with the crypt function and the password that's coming from the form, and then we can encrypt it. All right, because we don't want users to come here, put a weak password, and then we don't want a hacker to come behind them and decipher the password really easy. We want to encrypt it, making it secure. Now that we have clean data going inside the database, we also need to encrypt the password there. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's do a query real quick. I think we got time for a query, right? Select rand salt is the column name there from users. That's the table. And then let's send that query in, and let's call this select. If I can spell it right, that would be nice. Rand salt query. Let's use the MySQLi query function, connection, and query. We've done this many times. And let's just make sure that it works. All right. I think I'm going to make this video really short. I think this is the last code that we are going to be writing in this lecture for this video. And then on the next one, we're going to finish it out, because I know you guys have things to do. So let's check to see if this query is good. If it's not good, then we're just gonna say, we could say just die. Let's do it the proper way. Let's not get all sloppy with our code. Query failed, and let's just type in an error there, MySQLi error. All right, let's just do it the right way. Connection. All right, so let's go back here and let's see if everything works fine. It shouldn't give us an error. All right, there we go. Everything looks good. Okay. All right. So we don't have an error. We made the query here, and we inserted some data into the database table. So in the next lecture here, we're gonna complete this, get some data out of the database, out of the table, and show you how this works. Thank you so much for watching this lecture, and I'll see you in the next one.